Hello and welcome. I'm Maria, and today I'm going to be painting this painting and showing you how to do it. It's a very simple one. Really, I was regarding it as a warm-up painting. So just need a selection of acrylic paints. I'm using acrylic paper. You can use canvas if you want to, a selection of different size brushes, a spray bottle to keep your paints damp, especially if the weather is warm, and also a hairdryer to dry it off if the canvas or the painting itself gets a bit wet. So we'll get started on it now. Hope you enjoy it. So just to get started on this painting, I've got a few colours out on my palette, some bright blue and green and pinks, and this painting is going to be a little bit abstract, but there will be a lot of floral in it as well. So I think we'll give it a bit of a bluish kind of sky to begin with. And I'm going to be painting just quite quickly today because this is more of a warm-up, just to loosen up. So getting my blues in there. And I may kind of give it a feeling of a sense that it's like a park with some sort of a background, trees in the background or something like that. Or maybe the sense of some architecture in the background to set it in its place. So, just want to add in a bit of colourness before I go any further. And as I said, I'm going to keep this very loose and quite fun, quite abstract, quite playful. But just that idea of flowers in a park. And I need to clamp this down. That's the problem. I'm painting this on acrylic paper. It's quite a heavyweight paper, but it does tend to buckle when it's wet. So I just put the clamps just at the very edge to keep it sitting down. And then that'll help me just keep painting on it. Like that. Push it back again. So, and maybe some green down in the foreground. Now, as some of you may know, especially people from the Lantern, I have started working in a radio station over the last few months. It's almost full-time job, but I do get 3 days off in the week. And so as a result of that, I haven't done a painting for over 2 months, which really is a very long time for me. But before I took the job in the radio station, it's Life FM radio station in Cork, if anybody wants to tune in and listen. I'm on 3 hours every morning, Tuesday to Friday. But I prepared a lot of videos before I took the job. So over the last few weeks, I've been just sharing videos that I made before I started the job, because I knew when I started the job that it was going to take a lot of my energy, and sometimes it's good to take some sort of a break from the artwork. It helps you get back to it with a fresh eye. And sometimes it's just unplanned. It just happens that way. Something happens, somebody has a baby, life comes in the way, and you can't actually work for a certain period of time. But I'm settled into the job fairly well now. So I want to get back to this, especially when I have, I've Saturday, Sunday and Monday off, so I can get back to the painting on those 3 days, or at least 1 or 2 of those days. And it's important to me to keep this going, because I know this is what I will always return to. I've always painted, and it's just my love all my life. It's always something I've wanted to do. So yeah, just kind of putting in random colours, giving it really a bit of a background. Now it's getting muddy, so I'm going to wash my brush. Definitely got very muddy there, but I'm going to leave it. I'm not going to rub it off. So I'm just having a think about this. I think it's time to come in with a skinny brush, and I made a very bad mistake as well when I started my job a few months ago. I just left my brushes sitting in a big tub of water, and this is my tub with my brushes in it, so I just left them in the tub of water, but the water was also dirty with a lot of acrylic paint in it, and the paint, all the water evaporated. And this morning when I went to paint, all the paints were stuck, the brushes were all stuck together, and paint all over them, hard paint, and all the water gone. So that was a bit of all my good brushes, and you often hear me talking about my rigger brush. I've got 2 rigger brushes, and I'm really fond of them, and they were particularly badly affected. But I suppose from experience, this has happened to me before, and I kind of knew what to do. So I put in some very, very hot water into the tub, and then I put some washing detergent for washing clothes, and I worked on them. I put on some rubber gloves and I worked on them pretty hard, cleaning and washing and scrubbing them, and they've come out. These are the brushes, these are the same brushes, so I'm using them now, and they've come out pretty good, I think. So I managed to save my brushes, and I'm delighted. So I'm just really putting in some random flower shapes here. This is the simplest of all paintings. I'm not going to spend very long on it, because as I said, this is a warm-up for me. I'm just daubing in colour here and there, and it's just playing around really on this painting. Colour. I'm not trying to be perfect in any way with this. I'll make this a bigger flower, seeing it's down at the bottom, it's in the foreground, so it deserves to be nice and big and with lots of petals. And some of these over here could be big as well. I hope you can see this. It's a very warm day, a very hot day, so I've got the window open, and you can probably hear lots of noises coming from outside. Somebody's actually hooting a horn, but it's probably an alarm outside. But it is such a hot day, and I'm not sure how the lighting is now, because I've had to kind of darken down put a shade on one of the skylights. But so this is an exercise. I haven't painted for a few weeks, I'm admitting that, which is terrible. But I really knew this. I knew before I started the job that it was going to take a lot out of me, so I had prepared in advance several videos to put up. on YouTube and on Facebook. And I'm kind of using as a reference, I'm using a painting that I've once done, that I did before. And I think it's a really good thing to do if you've got, if you're kind of doing a warm-up and trying to get back your skills again and you've had a bit of a break. It's good to look at something you've done before and work on that. You know, do a copy or another study of a piece that you've already been working on or that you've finished. Because it helps you get back to where you were. And you know, all the great artists did that. They if they liked something that they did, they, like Monet did it over and over again, painted the water lilies. So many different versions of it. And it just helped him to just get more and more into it, into the subject matter. And to understand the subject matter and how the light falls in it and how different times of the day lighting can be different. So this one, yeah, this really is going to be a very simple little painting. And as I said, it really is a warm-up. Now, that was a very small brush, I think. I think I will use my rigger that I saved from destruction. And bring that back in and bring some of that blue sky down into the painting. Because this really is a blue sky day today. We're just absolutely having a heat wave here in Ireland. It's fantastic. It's unusual for us in this country to be getting such weather, especially in June. But we won't say no to it. I kind of want to I'm putting some things out around the edges because I don't want it all just to be focused, that there's certain shapes in the middle, but I want them to spread out to the edges. So yeah, just giving the impression of grasses and stems and things here in the background with this pink paint. So yeah, just having a bit of fun with this, and I'm going to put just a darker colour paint on my palette, and I'm going to just put in a little bit more detail now. So yeah, I've just put a very, very deep, what's it called, Winsor blue, so it's a very dark blue. And I'm just going to add some of the pink into that, or maybe a little bit greeny pink into it. Because I want to just put a little bit of depth into the hearts of these flowers. And some outlines to them as well. Just to sit them, you know, to give some definition to them. Now, even though I'm kind of outlining these, I'll probably just come back again in a few minutes and blur out a lot of those outlines. I'm giving just a certain idea of a little bit of foliage there in the background. Coming up to that corner just to kind of add a little bit of interest on the top right hand corner and bring that down through the painting. Here. So it's just to give a little bit of contrast into the painting. Again, over here I can just add a little bit of darkness, and that will help, you know, let my flowers pop out a bit. They'll be popping out from that background. So I just want to again bring some more of that pink in, just to deepen the pink, to give it a bit more vibrancy on those flower heads. And as well, I'm going to alternatively bring some highlights in now with some whites here. Now I've actually just dipped this into the white paint, but there is already blue mixed into the white paint, kind of at the edge of my white. So it's not snow white. But I do find with the acrylics, even if I painted a snow white over another colour, some of the colour would come through. So here, I'm just bringing some lighter colours down in here. these highlights to add in contrast into the painting. And it's just bringing the light, really little bits of sunlight down into, right down into the painting. Right down, you can even bring it right down to the bottom, like that. And maybe spread it over slightly into some of these areas over here. And I think we're almost there. I might just give some of those yellows a little bit more yellow to make them pop out a bit. So what it is really is it's like a garden or a park, but what you're focusing in on some little details, floral details that are growing maybe in the flower beds, with a lot of sunlight coming through on a beautiful sunny day like today. And generally that is my warm-up painting. So I hope you liked it. I'm just kind of wondering, does it need a little bit more detail? Always when I paint a painting, and when I look at it, I'm just taking a look at it in the screen again and wondering, is there anything else I could add? And of course I probably will always come back and add just other little tiny details to something. You know, it's always good when you finish a painting, stand back, give it a day or two and come back and, you know, just put some final touches to it. Because of course when you're up close, especially painting for video, it is hard to see it. And yeah, just putting in a little bit more detail into that and probably a little bit more contrast, but I think I can call it more or less done. I feel like that flower there needs a stem, so I have to pull the paper out. Just to give it, sit it into the foreground a bit with the stem. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll be back next week. There it is. I'll bring it more into focus for you. A little bit of detail there. Don't forget to subscribe and share, and I'll talk to you next week. God bless. Bye-bye.